Hi, welcome to Bookie. Today we will unlock the book Educated, a memoir. In the mountains of Idaho, there was a family, a couple with their 7 children, all of which were born at home, several of which who didn't even have a birth certificate. The kids never went to school, neither did they see a doctor regardless of if they fell sick or were injured. The author and protagonist of this book, Tara Westover, was the smallest of the 7 kids. Her father ran a junkyard where Tara spent her entire childhood. There were no sounds of learning. Only the rumble of the crane. Tara didn't set foot in a school before the age of 17. Instead, she spent her days in fear, dreading the violence her brother Sean might inflict on her at any moment. After growing up in such a toxic environment, Tara found an escape at Brigham Young University, where she enrolled as a homeschooler. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree in 2008. Subsequently, she was admitted into Cambridge, where she earned a Master of Philosophy in 2009 and a Ph.D. from Harvard in History in 2014. Educated, a memoir will tell you how Tara broke free from the confinement of her family and changed her life. In this memoir, Tara Westover recounts in first person how she grew up and how she pursued learning. It shows us how education can provide infinite possibilities. Published in 2018, this is Westover's first book, but it has been hugely successful ever since its debut. The book soon became #1 on almost every major bestseller list in the US, and Westover herself was listed among Time's most influential people of 2018. Bill Gates highly recommended this book, saying she got me to reflect on my own life while reading about her extreme childhood, an amazing story and truly inspiring. It's even better than you've heard. Next, we'll introduce the major content of this book through 3 parts. Together, let's see how Tara broke free from her family, reshaped herself through education, and eventually changed her fate. Part 1: Tara's turbulent life before education. Part 2: Receiving education and fighting her old beliefs. Part 3: Reshaping herself with advanced education. Tara's father was a devoted Mormon who believed wholeheartedly in God. He believed that Armageddon, the days of abomination, the end of world, was coming soon, and he warned the entire family to be ready for its arrival. Every time the end didn't come, he became depressed and upset. Her father was a religious zealot. He thought that public schools were a ploy by the government to lead children away from God. To him, sending kids to school was the same as turning them over to the devil. Therefore, Tara and her older brothers and sisters were not allowed to go to school. Their mother homeschooled them with very basic knowledge. Tara's father also believed that all pain and suffering was God's will, and that by going to the hospital they were betraying him. Therefore, the Westover family never saw a doctor. Tara's mother took care of all their illnesses and injuries. Once, they had a car accident during a trip. Everyone was injured, her mother even had brain damage. Still, no one went to the hospital. Her father thought all of their lives were in the hand of God and doctors couldn't really help. Another time, when Tara's brother Luke seriously burned his leg while working. Their father didn't take him to the hospital either. Instead, he cut away the dead flesh from Luke's leg at home, dressed the leg with some folk remedies and bandaged it. Tara's mother was a herbalist and midwife. Initially, she didn't share all of her husband's fanatical beliefs. But since the man had authority over his family, including his wife, she gradually assimilated and eventually became just as radical. After the family car accident, she became obsessed with making essential oils. She believed she could receive God's will and heal every sickness and injury with essential oils and magic. For kids who never went to school, their parents are their teachers. Tara's only view of the world was through her parents' eyes and what they told her. Her father's paranoid authoritarianism combined with a mother who enabled him resulted in an environment where Tara was completely brainwashed. Her grandmother once asked her, "How would you like to go to school?"